Welcome back to Sunday Supplement and a warm welcome back to John Cross, Riyadh Al Samurai and Jack Rosser. Let's talk all things Manchester United now because, yep, they made it 3 wins, 3 Premier League wins on the spin for the first time. I can't remember how long, but the first time definitely under Ruben Amorim because he made it back-to-back wins for the first time under his management last time out as well. Riyadh, it was a huge win for Manchester United. We have been here before. The word false dawn seems to be associated with that club in the past few seasons, but does, and I've probably asked you this question before as well, does this one feel different?
It does, because it's the first time he's done it. I've been incredibly sceptical about Ruben Amorim, and it's going to take a lot more, I think, before I reverse ferret on that particular view. But look, it's 3 wins in a row. They're going well. I think the main thing is actually, even aside from the results, it's the positive signs on the pitch. We know what he's about, and we also know his limitations with this sort of absolute commitment to the dogma of his system. He's not for turning. So look, we make peace with that, and you watch it unfold. Now, what I saw yesterday, I think possibly the main things, aside from them actually winning a 3rd game in a row, you got guys like Cunha, guys like Mbemo, guys like Bruno tracking back, putting in a shift. You've actually now, for a lot of his reign, I've watched it wondering how much of these players actually buying into what he's telling them. I wouldn't ever say it's been a team that's really screamed of commitment to me. What I was watching yesterday and during this run, which we should remind ourselves is 3 games, so perhaps sort of hiring the open top bus is premature. But when we're watching that yesterday, you're seeing that it's very positive. They've obviously shown a few vulnerabilities towards the end. They sort of allowed that door to be opened again. But with United, we've got to be talking about baby steps, because they've got to start showing the signs of that progress. We are seeing it now. I still think the single biggest aspect in this is the blessing in disguise of not having European football. Amorim's got time to have them on the training ground to start actually working through this system to which he is so wedded that perhaps now they're starting to really understand it, grasp it. They've got time to have a breather. Now, what they've got coming next is actually the interesting part. I don't think it's a particularly threatening run of fixtures they've got. Obviously, Dyche is going to change Forest, so we wait and see what they come out of the wash looking like. But you've got Wolves in there, you've got West Ham in there. I think there is an opportunity now for United to finally build up that little bit of momentum. But we shouldn't forget that, what was it, before the Sunderland game, we're talking about it being must win for Amorim. So, I'd imagine a crisis isn't terribly far away, but right now, right now, sure, let's sort of, get incredibly optimistic.
There's Mr. Positivity.
Yeah. John, we'll come to the formation in a minute. It was 3 wins in a row. The Sunday Express back page, they highlight the fact that it's finally happened for Manchester United, and maybe there is a bit of momentum there. I just want to ask you, John, about the recruitment, because that, above anything else, has come under huge criticism of late at Manchester United. And Riyadh touched on it there. In Cunha, in Mbemo, do they have now the foundation of something special and maybe something that they can look forward to and think, we've got some players here now that we can hang our hats on?
You're not going to mention Šeško then?
No, look,
but, yeah.
I think that there was an amazing stat, wasn't there, in the first, what was it, 10 or 15 minutes where he hadn't touched the ball. I mean, it was remarkable, Šeško. But then in the game, as it drew on, he was involved in goals, he's involved in setting up, and basically, I did think he grew into it. So I think that front 3, I think has got the basis of something there to build on and to work with, really. But the one that really catches my eye, and I've always been a Bruno fan, so please don't get me wrong, I'm not sort of kind of knocking him in any way, but Cunha, what a player. I love that. There's a brilliant picture, I think, isn't there? That one's on the back of the Express there, but then the Observer used it so well, on the sort of the front of theirs, and he looks made for Old Trafford. I love it. I love the way that he's embraced the sort of the shirt number, the 10. He just looks made for it. There's a bit of devilment there. He's so skillful. He's so talented. He just looks as if. We spent a few weeks in the summer, didn't we, discussing why on earth did players like Mbeumo and Cunha want to go to Old Trafford and Manchester United over other numerous offers that they undoubtedly had. Well, I thought last night showed exactly why. Because Old Trafford is still the theatre of dreams, and they have only got things to dream about at the moment because it is only 3 wins. But when they were in the groove then, when Mbeumo smashes it into the top corner for the 4th goal, and then also when Cunha owns the pitch in various points of the game yesterday, I thought he was outstanding, by the way, also at Anfield last Sunday. Honestly, there is a Manchester United legend in the making. He's an exceptional footballer who will only get better and better and better. And I love the way that he's ready-made for the Premier League. I love the way that he's ready-made for Manchester United. They have signed a great player. I don't think we should doubt what they've done up top, but they've left themselves hopelessly unbalanced in midfield. And so they've kind of done these, 3 wins on the bounce without too much of a midfield, really. Casemiro did well again yesterday, bearing in mind the base that he's coming from. But they're crying out for a kind of central midfielder, really, to anchor that team, and then also to make the defence more solid, to kind of run forward from midfield to give them more options and link between the strikers. So they've gone all in on the strikers, but my word, they've signed a belter in.
But isn't this the United problem, though? We're saying that because that issue with central midfield, we've seen it for about 4 windows now, and they go out and buy all of the toys, and they don't go and put it in the right position. So we can get incredibly excited about 3 wins in a row, but we can still look at it and say...
Sometimes the transfers are about timing, aren't they?
Yeah.
Because if Cunha and Mbeumo become available at that time, and the budget may have to go on those players because he's pinpointed these players as the players to take them forward, sometimes it is a longer process. And I think most United fans have accepted that this is not a 1 or 2 window fix.
No, of course you're right on that. When the player comes available at the right time, you take him. But we're all still looking at that team and saying, right, where's United's weakness? Well, it's right there in the middle of the pitch. Yeah. They haven't fixed that. So I'm not saying that it's a castle built on sand, but I'm kind of saying it's a castle built on sand. And at the same time, we're looking at Casemiro. He's gone and had a good game yesterday, and he's 33, and he's also costing about 375 grand a week. And very, very rarely is there a week where you turn around and say, that's really good value for money. Thanks for doing that. They need to plug a hole in that position. They need to do it badly. Now, look, obviously, I'm sort of playing the part of the miserable person here, which
you do it quite well, if you don't mind me saying.
Thank you very much, John. But I do look at that, and I think, you know what, if there is going to be another face plant into the wall, I don't feel too cavalier in predicting that there will be. I think we can trace which part of the pitch it's going to come to. So I'd look at it and I'd be inclined to temper a little bit of excitement.
Jack, Ian Whittle, who was at the game for the Sunday Times, just picking up on something Riyadh said in an earlier answer about Manchester United not winning that Europa League final and maybe having a bit more time with Ruben Amorim in the training ground. He says, look, perhaps failing to win that game and qualify from the Champions League can be filed under blessing in disguise, heading if, as appears the case, United's players are finally benefiting from a lighter match and travel schedule and the chance to work far more extensively with Amorim on the training ground. Now, the narrative throughout this season has been on this 3-4-2-1 formation. When they've been winning, we've not really been talking about that formation. Do you still think, or do you think that it is a formation that can work? And the fact that they haven't got European football can only benefit Ruben Amorim on the training pitch with these players?
Yeah, I think with the European football, we've seen it in the past, haven't we, where, was it Conte's Chelsea, I think, had a season without and did incredibly well. With all the excitement yesterday, and fans are right to get excited. They've not seen a lot there, and 3 wins in a row is good for all these new players. They're one of the biggest clubs in the country and they don't have any distractions. They should be winning these matches, really. Liverpool was a great one to go there and do, but they should be beating Sunderland, they should be beating Brighton. So it's good progress for them, but with no distractions, clear weeks, this is